Hannah! Hannah! Are you two up yet? You'll be late for school.
Oh, yes, Mom.
Dear, here's your lunch for today. Good luck at work.
Right. I'll be off then.
My name is Manami Saito. I've recently turned 40 years old, and I'm a full-time housewife. My twin daughters, who are in their last year of junior high school, are pretty stressed out from their high school entrance exams, is what an average household would say. My daughters have already been accepted to their desired high schools through admissions based on recommendation. I was merely preparing myself to spend a wonderful holiday season. But currently, the biggest source of concern in our family is my husband, Kazuki.
Phew, man, I'm so tired from work today. Hey, why is nobody at the door to greet me back home?
Welcome home. I'm sorry, dear. I was preparing our dinner just now.
What? You should have finished everything by the time I come home.
Well, you could have given me a call when you finished work so I could prepare everything.
You're so annoying. A mere housewife shouldn't be talking back to me like that. Who do you think is feeding this entire family? Me.
Of course, I understand. And I'm very grateful, but taking care of the home all day isn't easy either.
Bah! All you do is laze about the house. What's so difficult about that? I bet chimpanzees can do the same work as you.
Well, that's a lot coming from someone who can't even do their own laundry, clean after themselves, or cook a decent meal.
You're just like a parasite, living off of my paycheck.
Oh, Kazuki.
I've had enough. Bring me my beer.
Okay, I'll get them for you right away. I mean, just look at him. Do you get my message? Kazuki's work isn't doing so well in its business, and the employees have been getting a pay cut for the past 6 months or so. Despite the lowered wages, his workload is increasing. That's why he's been venting out his frustrations out onto me and the family.
Hey, what are Kanae and Hanae up to?
They're up in their room studying. They want to get a head start before high school starts.
Bah! That's the least they could do since I'm paying for their tuition. Well, once they start high school, I'm going to make them start part-time jobs and ask them to pay rent.
Actually, I'm planning on working part-time. Let's let the two focus on their studies.
What? There's no way you can do it. You haven't set foot outside the home to work ever since you got married. Young high school girls are what the market wants.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. After a certain point, I stopped listening to my husband's shenanigans. No matter what I say, I already know that he's not going to like it. I'm working so hard every day, but this old hag is just lazing about on the couch. This whole family is never going to be able to live without my paycheck. That's how he justifies his attitude and his misogynistic behavior. Ugh, why did I marry him? When we were dating, when we just got married, we had our twin baby girls. He was very kind. He was caring, hardworking, and always put family first. It is an understatement to say raising twins is difficult. If it weren't for the support from my husband, I don't think I could have made it. The reason why I've been putting up with my husband's abusive behavior for the past 6 months is simply because I loved our past 17 years of being together. We got married at 23, and I gave birth to our twins when I was 25. We've been through ups and downs together.
I've had enough. The food tastes bad when I'm talking to you. I'm going to bed.
While I was reciting the lyrics to Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious in my head, it seemed like Kazuki finished what he wanted to say. He stormed off to take a bath, slammed the bedroom door shut, and went to sleep. The room went silent, and my two daughters came downstairs. Hey, Mom, why aren't you saying anything against him? Kane, I looked online and saw that if you convert a day of household chores to a professional housekeeper, that accounts for over $60,000 in annual income. And Dad still treats you like this? Kane. Who does he think he is, saying something like, even chimpanzees can do a better job? Then I bet that makes him less of a chimpanzee. I want to shove bananas down his throat. There was one time where Dad got hungry late at night, but he didn't know how to use the microwave, so he came to our rooms to ask. He's below middle schoolers, even less of a baby. If he's less of a baby, he ought to go back to his mama's womb. Girls, please, mind your language. But thank you. I just thought he was frustrated with his recent work environment, but it's getting pretty rough now. I used to love Dad when I was a little kid. He was kind and always took us out on the weekends to play, even on sports days. He would be the fastest runner out of all the parents, but he's actively hurting you, Mom. It's unacceptable as a human being.
Why aren't you divorcing him? We're fine with getting a part-time job when we enter high school, and we promise we'll help around the house and stuff. We totally don't mind moving to a smaller apartment.
I knew it was time for me to change, and I shouldn't be running away from my problems anymore. It was about time to properly think about my divorce plans. I want time to myself to properly think about what I want to do with the situation. So if you two don't mind, why don't we visit Grandma's during the New Year holidays? We can spend time there during the holidays, and I can spend time really processing my thoughts.
Yeah, Mom. Of course we'd be okay with that. Plus, third years don't have to be on campus every day, so we can stay for as long as we want, Mom.
Besides, we can focus on our homework without him around the house. With the support from my 2 daughters, we decided to move out and live separately from my husband. However, when I tried to talk to my husband about this plan...
What? Live separately? You want to get a divorce or something? How are you going to take care of 2 teenagers as a mere housewife? I could just see you running back home, crying and begging me to let you back in because you know you were in the wrong. Now don't be a dummy and stop with this nonsense.
I had a tiny bit of remorse left in my heart, but his words were the final straw that broke the camel's back. I talked to my parents and told them I wanted to stay at their place for a while, and they were supportive of my decisions. To be able to spend time home without my husband, it was almost like heaven. To be able to hold a constructive conversation without being stopped mid-sentence felt so rewarding.
Hey, Mom, you should get more sleep.
Well, I can't be doing that forever, can I?
We'll do the stuff around the house. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but you've gotten really frail during these past few months.
Huh? Is that true?
You weren't eating that much when Dad was around. You must have been really stressed this whole time. Please, we just want you to properly rest up and take time to heal your heart.
I took a good long look at my face. Just like my daughters told me, my cheeks seemed a bit hollow and I just looked sick. I remembered that my mom looked sad when I came over. I finally knew why she was acting like that. I finally registered how much pain I was going through and how Kazuki's words were affecting me. I cried for the first time in a while. Oh no, Kazuki, since when did we grow apart like this? 17 years together. It was a long time when you put it into words. Even through the rough times and the hardships, we were able to pull through because we were there for each other. We even talked about going on a trip after our daughters leave for the home at university. We promised that we would always be together to celebrate all of our future wedding anniversaries. That night, I dreamt of my past with Kazuki. However, the last thing I dreamt of were recent memories with him.
Bah! All you do is laze about the house. What's so difficult about that? You know what? You're like a parasite, living off of my paycheck. I've had enough. The food tastes bad when I'm talking to you. I'm going to bed.
This must be it. When I remembered the sour look Kazuki had at the end of my dream, I had made up my mind. Thankfully, my 2 daughters were entering high school soon. They can take care of themselves just fine, and I'm still only 40 years old. If I wanted to get back to work, I should be doing that as soon as possible. I gathered my 2 daughters and my mother in the living room and told them the decision I had made.
Yes! Finally! Don't worry, Mom. We all have your back. That's right. We'll teach that toxic good-for-nothing a good hard lesson.
Goodness, girls, mind your language. My mother also spoke to me that she is willing to help in any way if I ever need her support. The end of the year was approaching, and I didn't want this problem to last for so long. Plus, I wanted to start the new year with a fresh, clean slate. So I tried to contact Kazuki, but he got in touch before me. He never sent a single text this past week, so what could he want from me now? I quickly grabbed my phone.
Hey, you've rested enough. Hurry up and come back home.
Why? It's not even New Year's yet. You finished work for this year, right? Why don't you just rest up at home alone? When I sent my reply, Kazuki stopped texting back. Well, I kind of expected this to happen. The reason is because he is lesser than a chimpanzee.
I don't care. Just come back already. Are you disobeying your husband?
Yes, I am. I'm divorcing you.
What? Hey, answer the phone!
No, I won't. All you're going to do is yell and scream at me anyway. I am sick and tired of talking to you. Chimpanzees can do the same household chores and work too, right? A housewife's job is to laze about the house, right? Then, for you, going out into the workforce and working hard every day? Compared to that, my work must be a breeze for you. We can talk about the details of the divorce after I come back home in the new year. Happy holidays. I received call after call from Kazuki after I put my phone down, but I ignored all of them. However, it seems Kazuki sent my daughters SOS signals.
You guys, check this out. Look what Dad sent me.
Come back home this instant! The house is a mess and it's all your fault! Your mother is a stay-at-home housewife! How dare she throw away her duties? Thanks to who are you all able to live a good, proper life? Who knows what I'll do if you come back? I won't be paying for your high school tuition! You don't want that happening, don't you? Now get your mom back home! If I don't see her back by tomorrow, I will not be paying you two's high school tuition! You are all going to spend a horrible, miserable life with just your middle school diplomas!
His range in vocabulary, it's almost non-existent. I mean, this level of scumness is almost comedic at this point. I know, right? Besides, it's absolutely not our fault that the house is a mess. What does he even mean by neglecting duties? Does he suck at his mother tongue?
That's right. If I just leave the house with just Kazuki all alone, he cannot take care of himself at all. Doing the laundry? That's an X-level mission for him. He can't even use the microwave decently. Of course, when we just had our twin babies, he did make an effort to help around the house. However, by the time we moved out and rebought most of our household appliances, he had no idea how to use any of these new materials. I took a look at the bombardment of text messages Kazuki was sending my daughters, and I let out an exasperated, "Oh my goodness."
If he's this much of a Bob the shitbag, I guess that makes it easier for Mom to divorce him, right? For sure. Absolutely. Let's take screenshots of everything he sends. I bet they count as evidence.
I'm so proud to have such helpful and clever daughters.
By the way, him saying that he's not going to pay our tuition, that's so messed up. Screw him. I can pay for them myself. Oh my god, what if we start up a twin character YouTube channel?
You two don't have to worry about earning a single penny. Mom can take care of that.
What? But Mom...
It's not like I'm planning a divorce with nothing up my sleeves. Don't worry about me. We spent a very comfortable New Year's with my parents. It was amazing to spend a relaxing holiday without worrying about how my husband is feeling. Even while I was at the dinner table, my phone was ringing the whole time, so I just turned it off entirely by the 31st. And on the 2nd of January, I took action and decided to call a certain someone. A week later, I texted Kazuki that I would be heading back home. Now, it was a time to exert my absolute full-time housewife powers. It was time for the revenge story to begin. I'm home. It stinks in here.
It stinks.
I'm gonna puke. The moment I opened the door, the smell of just rotten everything wafted towards us. When we stepped foot in the house, the room, a dumpster. There was absolutely no space on the floor to walk around. I flung the windows open for ventilation. I slowly peeked into the kitchen sink, and it sure was a hellscape there too.
Oh, you guys are home.
You're the worst! Exactly what on earth could you do to turn this house into a mess like this? Weren't chimpanzees able to do household chores too? Does that mean you're less than a chimpanzee?
How dare you speak like that towards your own father? Monami, what were you doing at your own parents' place during the holidays?
Not now. Girls, we need to get cleaning right away. Spit spot.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
We spent 3 full hours deep cleaning the entire house. Piles of trash would just endlessly come out of nowhere. Kazuki had no idea how to sort the trash. I mean, I knew that he had no idea about the trash pickup schedule, but there were posters by the trash station, so there should be no excuses. All while we were cleaning, Kazuki never left his room. Finally, when we were wrapping up the work, he waltzed in like nothing happened.
So, you are capable of doing the bare minimum.
Excuse me? Don't you think it's natural to apologize and say thank you? You're the one who messed this whole house up.
Doing the household chores isn't my job in the first place. Doing stuff around the house is supposed to be Monami's job, so she's the one who should be doing it.
You little...
Hanye, it's okay. Kazuki, now, I came here today to talk to you about the matters concerning our divorce.
What? We're not getting a divorce.
Why not? Don't you want to get rid of parasites in your house, right?
Well, about that. It was just a play on words. I don't mind you being around the house and all. I just want you to take care of the house like you did for all these years.
You're not answering my question. You wanted us, parasites, gone, correct? You said chimpanzees could do basic household chores. You should have no reason to disagree with this divorce, am I right? I confidently approached Kazuki with my reasoning, and he let out a big sigh.
I wasn't capable of doing chores, so I want you to take care of the home just as always.
So, are you saying that you'll be taking back all of your past words and attitudes?
Yeah, I guess so.
After mustering up just enough courage to admit he was in the wrong, he still didn't have the guts to say a single "I'm sorry." A toddler can do better. I don't want to stay with a person who can't even say "I'm sorry." And also, people who lie.
What? Lie? What do you mean?
You told me the business is going down and you received a big pay cut. That's a lie, right?
Huh? What are you talking about?
There's no point in trying to deny this. We already got a private investigator to look at your company.
What the hell?
We found out that you got into pretty deep trouble a few months back and that you were on the verge of getting fired.
What? That's so lame. I honestly can't imagine how someone can drop this low in life like this.
No. Those are all lies.
June 1st, at MoniRobo Corporation, there was a massive problem with some of the documentation that was presented in a business negotiation. The meeting had come to a halt for hours, and the top executives came rushing out to apologize in the lamest way possible. You were in charge of those documents, right?
How do you know all of this stuff?
I told you. We did our research. You're next in line in the next to fire list, right? I am not going down with you.
What do you mean by that? That's a lot coming from a mere housewife.
When I saw signs that your salary was going down, I started a side business by myself. I was financially independent for months. You haven't noticed at all?
What? Huh?
From being a scriptwriter for YouTubers to writing articles for makeup and cosmetic brands, my job as a web writer is doing really well, actually, and I'm making roughly $3,000 a month.
What? What?
I'm sorry that I make more money than you. Besides, did you actually think it was possible for me to budget a life with just $2,000 a month? With 2 daughters that need our attention? Rent, electric bills, gas bills, water bills, regular life expenses, food expenses, tuition, our car loan, etc.? You called me out for being a parasite, but I was just protecting you from the truth. You abuse me, can't take care of yourself. A man like you? I'm good, thank you.
Wait, I had no idea this whole time, I swear. I'm sorry that I lied. I just didn't belong in my company anymore. People looked down on me and I hated it. And the only place I could let out my stress was on you. I didn't want to do this. I couldn't stand all of the pressure. I was just relying on you.
Kazuki was basically on his knees, but I wasn't going to let this slide anymore. Besides, if he was suffering that much, he could have just talked to me. We could have shifted our lifestyle, and I could have worked full-time too. There was so much we could have done, but he chose not to. You're just showing off your true nature if you aren't agreeing to the divorce. I'll bring in my lawyer to settle the matters. We'll come around to get our belongings at a later date. Come along now, Kanye.
Get us out of here!
Oh, wait, don't leave me. Manami, Kanae, Hanae, no!
My husband's pathetic wailing and whining could be heard even after we left the house, but we ignored it. Later down the line, Kazuki and I were brought into court, and we tried him for psychological abuse and domestic violence. We easily won our case, and were able to make him pay a good amount of money. Of course, we made him pay for the full tuition of my 2 girls. I was fully aware of his financial state, obviously, because I was doing all of the accounting in the house to make sure our family doesn't go down. So I knew exactly how much he had in his savings account. I received all of what was left in his savings, and in turn, Kazuki was allowed to keep all of the home equipment to himself. We agreed to this deal, and we were able to settle our divorce. After the whole court and divorce drama settled, the 2 girls and I rented out an apartment room and started a new life, just the 3 of us. Never in my life did I expect to turn into a freelance writer in my 40s and also become a single mom. But I have full trust in my 2 daughters. I'm sure we can navigate through life just fine if we stick together and support each other if anything happens. On the other hand, as for Kazuki, after the divorce, he was fired from work and has been jobless since this April. My 2 daughters entering high school this spring, my ex-husband is now jobless, and I'm a freelance writer and also a freshly divorced single mom. We all had our big shifts in life. Kazuki apparently didn't even have enough money to pay for his phone bills, so thankfully, we never received anything from him after the divorce. However, we did receive an apology from Kazuki's parents along with an update on how he was doing. Kazuki took himself to an employment agency and now works at a small factory. At court, I settled that the consolation money and money for the children can count for the $60,000 I will take away from his savings, so we didn't have to discuss anything money-related anymore. By doing that, I legally had nothing to do with Kazuki by this point. My daughters didn't want to talk to their father anymore, too. All I can say is he could do whatever the hell he wants. He can live on or get really sick and die. I honestly couldn't care less.
Mom, high school is so ridiculously fun. Oh my God, I know, right? Plus, it's totally awesome that we're just together with Mom.
Okay, girls. I'll listen to both of your stories when you come back home again. Now get ready. You're going to be late for your morning classes.
Okay, Mom,
we'll be off. Our new lives together had just begun. We're all looking forward to our brand new chapter in life.